Alright, y'all boys. So today we're gonna be playing well, not playing, I meant, but we're gonna be watching 3 true scary stories. So yeah, gonna be watching those. What is and let's get straight into it. Whenever it pops up. Alright, there we go.
Moving in with a new roommate was supposed to be a fresh start. After a messy breakup and the end of my lease, finding Megan's ad for a room felt like a stroke of luck. The apartment was charming, a vintage
I'm sorry for pausing it this early, but why is she sitting there like that?
2-bedroom and hardwood floors and a small balcony overlooking the city. Megan was quiet and a little weird looking. She had big dark circles and red eyes. On the first night, as I unpacked boxes in my new room, I heard faint scraping noises coming from the walls. It was a rhythmic sound, like nails dragging across plaster. I pressed my ear against the cold surface.
Is someone there?
Silence. At breakfast the next morning, I mentioned it casually.
Hey, do you ever hear weird noises at night? Like scratching?
Megan looked up from her tea, her expression unreadable.
It's an old building. It makes sounds.
She sipped slowly, her gaze lingering on me just a moment too long. Days passed and the unsettling noises continued. One evening, I noticed tiny holes in the walls of my bedroom, almost imperceptible. They were strategically placed, one facing my bed, another the bathroom. Peering through one, I saw only darkness. I grabbed some tape and paper, covering them up. But the next morning, the coverings were gone. The holes seemed wider. A sense of violation washed over me. I confronted Megan.
Did you remove the paper I put on my wall?
She glanced at me, eyes reflecting the dim kitchen light.
Why would I go into your room? Maybe you imagined putting them up?
That night, sleep eluded me. Every creak of the apartment amplified my paranoia. Around 2 a.m., I heard the scraping again, louder this time, almost agitated. It seemed to move along the wall, stopping right behind my headboard. I whispered into the darkness.
Who are you? What do you want?
A faint giggle echoed in response. The following day, I found my closet door ajar. Clothes I hadn't worn were missing. Hours later, they reappeared, folded neatly on my bed. A scent clung to them, a mix of damp earth and something sweet, almost rotten. I decided to stay out late, avoiding the apartment. At a coffee shop, I opened my laptop to distract myself, but the webcam light flickered on in the middle. I frowned, clicking to disable it. Moments later, an anonymous message popped up on my screen.
Why don't you want me to see you?
My heart raced.
Who is this?
No response. I slammed the laptop shut and headed home.
For one, why would you just... When you seen that camera on, and then you got the text message, you should throw the laptop away instantly. I'm gonna tell you right now, yeah. Whoever true story this is, yeah, you should have threw that laptop away instantly. You sold, and you know you did.
In my room, I locked the door and pushed a chair against it. Exhausted, I collapsed onto the bed, clutching a kitchen knife under my pillow. Sometime during the night, I felt...
Now, this is how you know you need to get out that house. Because your roommate, supposedly be your roommate, is literally sitting there standing at the edge of your bed, bro.
Felt a presence. My eyes fluttered open to see Megan standing at the foot of my bed, her silhouette illuminated by the faint glow of the streetlights outside.
Megan? What are you doing?
She tilted her head.
You were screaming. I wanted to make sure you're okay.
I hadn't screamed.
Please, get out.
She lingered for a moment before slipping out of the room. The next morning, I decided I couldn't stay there any longer. I began packing, determined to leave by nightfall. As I gathered my things, a small flash drive fell out of one of my boxes. I didn't recognize it. Curiosity overrode caution. Plugging it into the laptop, I opened the only folder on it labeled "For Claire." Dozens of video files appeared, each marked with a date. Clicking on the most recent one, my screen filled with a grainy night vision recording of my bedroom. I watched in horror as footage played of me sleeping, tossing and turning. The timestamp was from the night before. My breath caught as the camera panned, revealing Megan standing in the corner watching me. Her eyes gleamed unnaturally in the infrared light. I clicked on another file. It showed me in the bathroom.
I'm not gonna lie, this is mad inappropriate, bro. I'm blurring this out because I'm not getting demonetized.
Undressing for a shower. Tears blurred my vision as I realized the extent of the invasion. A final file sat at the bottom of the list, titled "Tonight." With a shaking hand, I opened it. It was a live feed of my room. From the angle, it was clear the camera was inside the wall. Suddenly, the video shook and a message flashed across the screen.
I'm coming.
A loud thud resonated from the hallway. Panic surged through me. I grabbed my phone to call the police, but there was no signal. The lights flickered and then went out, plunging the apartment into darkness. Footsteps approached.
Bro.
The doorknob
Leave
rattled.
in the morning.
Claire, let me in.
Her voice was distorted. I backed away, clutching the knife. The door creaked open. It shouldn't have. I'd locked it. She stood there, but something was...
Yo, what the fuck? Bro, this ain't even horror, bro. At this point, this is not even horror. But what the fuck is this? Dude. Bro, you gonna make me throw up seeing this.
Something was wrong. Her limbs were too long, joints bending at unnatural angles. Her face was dark, eyes sunken deep.
You shouldn't have tried to leave.
I screamed, darting past her and into the hallway. From behind, I heard the scraping. The same I'd heard in the walls, now amplified, chasing me. Bursting into the living room, I found the front door, but it wouldn't budge. Megan's laughter echoed. Desperate, I smashed a window with a nearby chair and crawled out, cutting myself on the shards. I ran into the night, not stopping until I reached a brightly lit gas station. The attendant stared as I stumbled in, disheveled and bleeding. "Miss, are you okay?" I tried to explain, words tumbling incoherently. They called the police, who arrived swiftly. I told them everything about Megan, the cameras, the flash drive. An officer frowned. "Ma'am, that building's been abandoned for years." My blood turned to ice.
No. I moved in last week. Megan is my roommate.
They exchanged glances. "We'll take a look. But the last tenant in that apartment was a woman named Margaret, who died decades ago." They escorted me back. The building stood ahead, windows boarded up, graffiti covering the walls. Inside, dust coated every surface. My belongings were nowhere to be seen. In the apartment where I'd lived, only decay remained.
My question is, was she hallucinating? Like, was she hallucinating or what? Like, what happened?
But in the center of the living room sat a single item, a vintage camcorder on a tripod, pointing towards the door. Attached was a note in familiar handwriting.
Thank you for the performance.
I stared in disbelief. The officers guided me outside as I trembled uncontrollably. It's strange how close someone can come to your heart without you ever realizing they're slowly squeezing it, draining life away with every beat. Claudia and I were sisters in every sense of the word, except blood. Ever since I met her 20 years back at a charity event, she'd been there through everything. My marriage, Jake's birth, my divorce. When Mike left, it was Claudia who stood by my side. mopping my tears and helping me piece together my shattered life. Jake loved her too. So, when I had my hip surgery, I didn't think twice about letting her practically move in to help. I trusted her with everything. She cooked, cleaned, and took care of Jake. She was my rock, always smiling that warm, understanding smile. But then the cracks began to show. Tiny things, almost invisible at first. The sickness had started shortly after Jake's 17th birthday. A simple cold at first, nothing to be concerned about. Then it grew and kept growing until the fatigue became unbearable, creeping into my bones. No matter how much I rested, it only deteriorated. I was in and out of the doctor's office, subjecting myself to tests that gave no answers. No matter what I tried, no matter how many pills they shoved down my throat, my body was failing me.
Pause. Can you say pause, please? Come on, no matter how many pills get shoved down my throat. Pause.
It wasn't until later I got to know that it wasn't just my body failing. Claudia began acting strange. She was quieter around Jake, visibly more nervous. At first, I ignored it. What was there to doubt? She was a mother figure for Jake, right? And the stress of caring for me and Jake couldn't have been easy. I asked her about it once. We were sitting in my dimly lit living room, the cold shadows pressing against the walls like silent spectators. Claudia giggled nervously.
Jake ain't our tiny boy anymore, Lila. He's growing up and learning things that he wants to experience.
Claudia avoided my eyes, but I had seen it. The wave of disgust had almost knocked me over. I needed to have a chat with Jake. That afternoon, Claudia was out shopping when I brought it up with Jake. We were alone, and the house was heavy with the kind of silence that bruises deep into your skin.
Jake?
I started, my voice shaky.
What is Claudia to you?
He looked at me, confused at first, then his nostrils flared. My son was furious at the accusation. He suggested I'd interrogate her friend instead. She had been suggesting me things, Mom. The way he said it, his voice strained, almost panicked, sent a shiver down my spine. I kept quiet because I didn't want to stress you out. I dismissed his claims of innocence, a growing teen fueled by hormones, seeing things that weren't there. Claudia had always treated him like her own son. It had to be him. You don't understand, Mom, he snapped, his face flushed with frustration. I'll prove it to you. I should have listened, but instead I brushed him off. That night, my malaise worsened. My skin felt cold and clammy. My breath came in shallow gasps. I was trapped in my body, helpless as it collapsed under the weight of an illness I could not understand. I laboriously dragged my sweaty body towards Claudia's room, hoping to get help. Little did I know, I was in for the biggest shock of my life. I overheard Claudia. She was on the phone to someone. Her voice was a low, eerie whisper.
I'm going to take him away forever,
she said. Him? Her words clawed at my mind, sending a wave of nausea through me. Who was she talking to? What did she mean? Before I could confront her, Jake stormed in and dragged me out to the hospital, pale and frantic. In his hands, he held vials, small glass containers, and petri dishes he'd found hidden in Claudia's room earlier. He showed me the labels, words I didn't understand, but they reeked of a lethal scheme. My mind spun. I didn't want to believe it. Not Claudia, not her. But deep down, I knew. I immediately rang Dr. Maya, an old colleague.
Alright, so basically, if y'all not understanding what's going on, her friend basically poisoned her. Or something like that. And trying to smash her son or take him away or whatever she's trying to do. But it's getting fruity-licious in here, and I'm not liking it. I'm not seeing horror, I'm seeing rapists. I'm not even gonna lie. And who, for all, let me not say that before they cancel me. But still, yeah. Y'all get what I'm coming at. Yeah, it's getting fruity-licious in here, and yeah. So this stuff is not even scary. It's just a story.
Colleague from my nursing days, begging her to help me. She ran the tests, and when the results came back, they shattered what little remained of my world. The infections weren't natural, they were induced. Someone had been slowly poisoning me, introducing resistant bacteria into my system. That someone was Claudia. The realization hit me like a freight train. The woman I'd trusted with my life, my son's life, had been killing me, slowly, methodically, for months, all to take Jake away. I couldn't breathe. Dr. Maya called the authorities. Detective O'Hara, an investigator, took over, and soon the FBI got involved. They set a trap. Claudia had been expecting another shipment of the bacteria. This time, they intercepted it. The night they arrested her, I watched from the window as they pulled her away in handcuffs. She fought, screamed, and denied everything. But under the weight of the evidence, she had to crack. Claudia confessed how she believed I wasn't fit to raise Jake and didn't deserve Mike. She thought I was a failure, and everyone involved in my life deserved better.
Removing her was necessary.
She screamed. I shuddered when the police car's red and blue lights faded into the night. Claudia was gone, but her shadow lingered, a stain I'd never be able to wash away. Claudia was everything Jake and I talked about for days to come. We had survived, but the world felt colder now, darker. There was no more illusions left, just the terrifying truth that the truth might be what the eyes couldn't see. And everything that we see isn't always the truth.
Story 3.
Moving into a new apartment in the city was supposed to be a fresh start. After months of searching, I finally found a place that fit my budget and came with a roommate named Rachel. She was quiet and had her quirks. The first night after unpacking, I took a long shower to wash away the stress. The bathroom was small but clean, with a clawfoot tub and a shower curtain adorned with abstract patterns. I closed the curtain fully before stepping in, enjoying the hot water cascading over me. When I finished, I noticed the curtain was slightly ajar. Shrugging it off, I dried myself and headed to bed. In the morning, as I made my way to the kitchen, I noticed wet footprints leading from the bathroom to Rachel's room. They were small, like mine, but I hadn't been in the bathroom since the night before.
Hey, Rachel. Did you take a shower last night?
She looked up from her cereal, a hint of confusion on her face.
No. I went to bed early. Why?
Hold on. Whoa. She didn't even say she took one in the morning, bro. She is nasty. She talking about she didn't take a shower last night. Nasty, disgusting. And if y'all talking about, oh, you got the same hoodie on, this is the same day I filmed the last video I posted. Yeah. Get your facts right. Yeah. The same day. Cause yeah, I posted the video. I don't know what I'm titled yet. But yeah. It's some video, well, the video with my thumbnail with me over here. And then, or something like that, or me over there. And then, with the lady standing right there, yeah. Don't call me nasty, boy.
I hesitated.
No reason. Must have been my imagination.
Over the next few days, the unsettling incidents continued. My toothbrush disappeared from its holder, only to reappear in my room, damp and with a strange metallic taste when I used it. One evening, I returned home to find the shower running. Steam billowed from under the bathroom door. Knocking softly, I called out.
Rachel? You in there?
No response. I opened the door cautiously. The room was empty, the mirror fogged over. Written in the condensation was my name, scrawled repeatedly. My heart pounded.
Rachel, this isn't funny.
She appeared behind me, startling me.
What's wrong?
I pointed to the mirror.
Did you do this?
She glanced at the mirror, her face unreadable.
I don't see anything.
I blinked, and when I looked back, the writing was gone.
Nah, that's gotta be voodoo magic. That's gotta be. Cause ain't no way. We clearly saw on the screen that it was definitely there. So, according to my calculations, you're cooked. You're cooked. You're cooked.
Sleep became difficult. Every creak in the apartment set my nerves on edge. One night, a soft whispering pulled me from sleep. I strained to listen. Throwing off the covers, I crept toward the sound. It led me to the bathroom. The door was slightly open, a sliver of light cutting through the darkness. Peering inside, I saw Rachel standing in front of the mirror, her hands tracing circles on its surface.
Rachel?
She didn't turn.
She doesn't see. She doesn't know.
A chill ran down my spine.
Know what?
Her head snapped toward me, eyes wide and lips curled into a grin that didn't reach her eyes.
You're up late.
I backed away.
Couldn't sleep.
She stepped closer.
You should rest. Big day tomorrow.
I fled to my room, locking the door behind me. Determined to uncover what was happening, I decided to search Rachel's room while she was out. Her room was sparse, a neatly made bed, a dresser, and an odd number of mirrors lining the walls. But as I opened her closet, my missing items tumbled out. Clothes, towels, even my hairbrush, all arranged meticulously. At the back of the closet, I found a notebook filled with pages upon pages of handwriting. It was my name, written over and over, interspersed with bizarre sketches of faces, some mine, others distorted versions. A floorboard creaked behind me.
Looking for something?
I spun around, the notebook clutched to my chest.
Why do you have my things?
She tilted her head, eyes glinting.
Bar?
Guys, let's calculate. Wasn't the last time we seen her hair was just brown? Why is it starting to look like that girl's hair? I think she's trying to become her. I really do. I think she's trying to become her. Let me know in the comments.
Borrowed them? You have such good taste.
I tried to steady my voice.
This isn't normal. You're invading my privacy.
She took a step forward.
Privacy? We're roommates. We share everything.
I edged toward the door.
I think I need to find a new place.
Her smile faded.
You can't leave. Not when we're so close.
I didn't wait to hear more. Pushing past her, I ran to my room to grab my phone. As I dialed 911, the line went dead. No signal. Rachel's voice echoed from the hallway.
You won't get away that easily.
Desperate, I tried the front door, but it was bolted shut. The lock jammed. Panic surged. Rushing back to the bathroom, I thought of escaping through the window. As I entered, something caught my eye. A small red light blinking in the mirror. Leaning in, I realized it wasn't a mirror at all, but a two-way window with a camera embedded behind it. A video feed played on Rachel's tablet, propped discreetly on the counter. It was me, in various states of undress.
Nah, hold on, bro. I'm not brushing.
Showering, brushing my teeth, even sleeping. Horror washed over me.
What have you done?
Rachel stood in the doorway, blocking my exit.
I've been documenting us.
I'ma just leave it.
Our lives together.
Waste my time.
I glared at her. Her features seemed to blur for a moment, shifting subtly to resemble mine.
What are you talking about?
She stepped closer, her voice eerily calm.
I've always admired you, Lisa. Your life, your friends, your smile. I want it all.
I realized then that her clothes were mine, fitting her perfectly. Her hair, once brown, now had streaks matching my own blonde highlights.
You're insane!
She lunged at me, and we grappled, knocking over the table. The screen shattered, and a distorted video played, showing her practicing my mannerisms, mimicking my voice. With a surge of adrenaline, I pushed her away and raced toward the kitchen. Grabbing a knife, I faced her.
Stay back!
Poke her up, bro.
She laughed, a sound devoid of any warmth.
You can't hurt me! We're the same now.
Sirens wailed in the distance. As I would learn later, a neighbor had heard the commotion and called the police. Rachel's expression twisted into rage.
You ruined everything!
She charged at me, but before she could reach me, the door burst open and an officer stormed in. "Drop the weapon!" I realized they were shouting at me. I dropped the knife, hands raised.
Help me! She's trying to steal my identity!
They glanced at Rachel, who now stood cowering, tears streaming down her face.
Nah.
I don't know
I
what's
hate
happening!
stuff like this, bro.
She just attacked me!
Confusion flooded me.
No, she's lying! She's been spying on me!
An officer gently restrained me.
No! Ask her what happened in Geneva, and then call my mom to confirm.
Her smile faded. She made up a story about how a burglar had stolen her purse. But then the cops dialed my mother, who confirmed with the fact that I have never been to Geneva. She was arrested. I had to present my passport as the truth that I had never indeed been there. I don't know why she did that, but I convinced myself that she must have been a psycho to try to become someone else.
I don't know why I liked at the end, but that's the end of this video, y'all boys, because hopefully y'all enjoyed this little video of what you call